Yo, what's poppin', Silverback Nation? Great to see you here on Tuesday, April 9th. You are in the jungle. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the jungle. Hit the subscribe and like button, notification bell so you don't miss out any time our bets go live. There are 15 games in Major League Baseball today starting at 12:30 Eastern Time. That means there are 30 pitchers I have sifted through, examined, and put under a microscope to deliver to you the best strikeout prop for each and every one of those 15 games. I'll give you a bet for every single game. My favorite 3 picks will be in the pinned comment section of this video. If you want my full betting card each and every day, go to silverbackjungle.com. Get my exact betting card pinged to your phone each and every day, as well as any additional or demon bets that I add throughout the day. Yesterday, we had a good addition. I sat on Spencer Turnbull of the Philadelphia Phillies, waited for him to become plus money, and he did. I alerted all Silverback Nation. We all capitalized on that. We were 3-2 yesterday. All 3 wins were plus money wins. Zach Gallen was plus money, Luis Castillo was plus money, and Spencer Turnbull was plus money. We lost on Lazardo, and we lost on Blake Snell, but a profitable day for the season. Now we're already up 7.11 units. We're 27-18. Let's work. Pick number 1, Detroit at Pittsburgh, early game. So make sure you get this in. You're going to lay the juice here on Casey Mize of the Tigers over 3.5 strikeouts. I wouldn't take this at 4.5, but I'm going to lay the juice at 3.5. Former number 1 pick had 4 strikeouts in his season debut. Lay the juice for Mize at over 3.5 Ks. Baltimore at Boston. Brian Bajo against Corbin Burns, very interesting, but you're going to back Corbin Burns here on a high line over 7.5 strikeouts. It is a high line, but even with a poor outing in that monsoon game against the Royals, he's still striking out 31% of batters this season. Still one of the best strikeout pitchers in the game. I like him today to get Boston for at least 8 strikeouts. Corbin Burns of the Orioles over 7.5. White Sox at Cleveland Guardians. Not my favorite strikeout pitcher here, but it's a great spot to back him. Logan Allen over 4.5 strikeouts. He's over this in 6 of his last 10 games, and Chicago White Sox are one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball. Logan Allen of the Guardians over 4.5 Ks. Milwaukee at Cincinnati. Once upon a time, Frankie Montas is one of the best strikeout pitchers in baseball. He looks pretty good so far to start the season. We're going to back him today over 5.5 strikeouts of the Reds against the Brewers. Great in his opener, 6 shutout innings, 4 Ks in the opener, 5 Ks in his second game against a tough Philadelphia Phillies lineup. I like him today to go over 5.5 against the Brew Crew. Miami Marlins at New York Yankees. We're going to fade A.J. Puck here. Now, he was a great relief pitcher in terms of strikeouts coming out of the pen last year, but it's just not translating to the starting lineup. He's had 2 miserable games. He's got a line at 5.5. We're going to fade that here until he proves that he's worthy of backing on and over. Silverback Nation is going to continue to fade him. He's not going to do it today. He's not until he proves it. We're not going to back him against the New York Yankees lineup that can get him out of the game in the first or second inning. Definitely not going to ride him today. Now, in the future, that could be different. But for today's game, A.J. Puck under 5.5 against a tough Yankees lineup. Seattle at Toronto. We're going with the best control pitcher in the game here. We're backing George Kirby, one of my favorite bets of the day, over 4.5 strikeouts. 12 Ks in 2 appearances so far this season. Over this in 58% of games in 2023. Yes, Toronto is good, but now there's a difference between control and command. As a former pitcher, I'll tell you that, and someone who analyzes the sport in the game very, very well. George Kirby has the best control in Major League Baseball. Doesn't walk guys, picks his spots. I think he can get them for 5 or 6 today. George Kirby of the Mariners over 4.5 strikeouts. New York Mets at Hotlanta Braves. Another one of my favorite bets today, Reynaldo Lopez of the Braves over 4.5 strikeouts. Former closer, Chicago White Sox, Mets. I'm sorry, no, just the White Sox, and then the Braves. Triple-digit fastball. He's hit 100 multiple times on the gun. He's got amazing stuff. Talk about he doesn't have the control. He's got the command of his fastball that a lot of players lack. Now he's become a starter. Once again, he was a starter early in his career, had a 13-game strikeout in Chicago, got moved to the bullpen, was pretty pissed off about that. But Atlanta has moved him back to starter. I'm going on and on about this kid, but struck out 30% of batters in 2023 as a reliever, 5 in the first game. He's going to get the Mets today for over 4.5. Reynaldo Lopez of the Braves over 4.5 strikeouts. Houston at Kansas City. And can you believe that we're getting plus money on Cole Ragans here over 5.5 strikeouts? Lock that up. We have to take it, even though Houston is a juggernaut juggernaut. Look what they did to the Rangers last night. Cole Reagan's over this in both games this year already against two good lineups. Over 75% of games last year, 2023, with a 31% K rate. I love Cole Reagan's today to strike the Astros out over 5.5 times. LA Dodgers at Minnesota Twins. We're going to fade Louis Varland here of the Twins, under 5.5 strikeouts, under 6 of his last 7 games. Not going to do it against this Dodgers lineup today. Probably the hardest lineup to go through in Major League Baseball. We're going to fade Varland today of the Twins, under 5.5 strikeouts. Just not a great strikeout pitcher. Philadelphia at St. Louis. We have no choice here but to go Zach Attack Wheeler, the man on the thumbnail, over 6.5 Ks. Over this in 5 of his last 6, averaging 8 strikeouts a game in his last 6 games. Zach Wheeler, one of the best strikeout pitchers in baseball, over 6.5 today against St. Louis. Oakland at Texas. Now, this is a very high line for Nathan Eovaldi, but we're going to take it. Over 7.5 for pretty good plus money. And why is that? Well, because the Texas Rangers bullpen got a workout and a half yesterday against Houston. Houston just pounded them. They're going to want Eovaldi to go as deep as he can, and that's not going to be hard to do against the Oakland A's. He had 8 strikeouts in his last game in 7 innings against Tampa, so they've shown that they want that when he's able to go, they're going to let him go as much as he can, and I think he's going to do that today against Oakland. Take him for plus money. Nathan Eovaldi of the Rangers, over 7.5 strikeouts. Arizona at Colorado. Merrill Kelly of the Diamondbacks, over 5.5 strikeouts. Over this in 4 of his last 5 games, averaging 7 a game in those 5. Pinnacle, the sharpest sports book in the land, has this at -142. Most books stateside have this at -118. That's where I got in a FanDuel. Merrill Kelly of the Diamondbacks, over 5.5 strikeouts against the Rockies. Tampa Bay at Los Angeles Angels. We're back in Aaron Savali. He's turning into Tampa Bay Devil Rays ace. Savali, over 5.5 strikeouts. Over in 8 of his last 9 games on the road. 14 games or 14 Ks in 2 games this year. Aaron Savali of the Rays, over 5.5 strikeouts. He's going to stay hot. Washington at San Francisco. Now, Kyle Harrison was really exciting last season. Came out 21 years old, flamethrower, lefty, rising fastball. In the first couple games, it translated to the majors. It hasn't since then. In fact, he's been under this in 4 of his last 5 games. Washington doesn't strike out against lefties. We took his under last game, under 4.5, and it hit for us. And we're going to take, I like this kid a lot. There may come a day we go over on him again, but today against Washington, one of the toughest teams to strike out in baseball, we're taking Kyle Harrison under 4.5 strikeouts for plus money here. Chicago Cubs at San Diego. Our last bet of the day is another under. It's Joe Musgrove of the Padres, under 6.5 strikeouts. Under this in 4 of his last 5. Under this in 7 of his last 10. Under this in 71% of games in 2023. Just too high of a line for Musgrove against the Cubs. The Cubs today, Joe Musgrove of the Padres, under 7.5 strikeouts. Have a great day, Silverback Nation. My favorite 3 bets will be in the pinned comment section of this video. Become a Jungle member at silverbackjungle.com. You won't regret it. You'll profit, and I'll see you tomorrow with a little more money in your pocket.